Media bias tracker for December 17th. Let's look at how Tesla's being treated in the news and let's see if it's fair. And today we're also going to cover Ford and GM to give us a little benchmark. I'm Brian. Welcome to my Tesla Weekend. Now, these normally go out every single day, at least for the last week, and they are an exclusive for members of Patreon, for subscribers on X, for YouTube channel members. If you wish to sign up for any of those, please do. You will get access to all of them at that time, or you can just wait and see. I put them out. I plan to put them out once a week, so if you enjoy it, you get to see it still, and the week in review. That's what we're doing today. Did want to say a big thanks to Tesla Chris at Krisen62 for using my referral code. Yay! I'm going to be using these 10,000 points to get premium connectivity and a bunch of miles, supercharging miles, to expand my adventure. This is literally saving me money. I thank you, Chris, so much. And everybody else, you can use the other things we discussed to cover that. And you can see the schedule of upcoming things we're doing. So let's talk about it here. What we're doing is we use a VPN, we use incognito mode, and we just go to Google News. What we do is we look at the headlines and determine good, bad, or neutral. That's it. 25 headlines, run them down, run the math. And I don't use Tesla Motors as a search term. I use just Tesla. So you will get some false positives, which we skip. And the same with Ford and GM. I didn't use Ford Motors, even though that gives you cleaner results. It just doesn't give you as inclusive of results. So we skip other people. The headlines about Harrison Ford we don't include. And we use General Motors rather than GM because GM brought up too much noise in the signal. But we didn't use General Motors topic because that filtered it too much. Okay. Top story today, a big one. Elon Musk lies about Tesla is finally exposed. Oh, Edward Niedermeyer, what's wrong with you? What big lie has been exposed? Elon Musk's big lie about Tesla finally exposed. More than 2 million of the cars are being recalled because Tesla's self-driving systems have always been anything but. There it is. What a wet pile of trash. What are you doing? Full self-driving has not been recalled. Autopilot has. And the reason it was only recalled in one country is because the settlement only requires it to be done in one country. The system isn't flawed. It's the drivers who are flawed. The drivers need a little more poking and prodding. And I'm going to tell you, the drivers don't. This system makes it less safe. Who is Ed? Is an American author, analyst, and critic. It's one way to spell cynic, who focuses on the auto industry. And he is the author of Ludicrous, the unvarnished story of Tesla Motors. There it is. He's selling books. Terrible. Terrible. But, hey, that's what we're here to do. And it's not a big deal that the top story is a bad story. That happens sometimes. So we look at the others. After viral video shows built for any planet Cybertruck struggling, California park staff asked to educate Cybertruck after bungled. Okay. And then, so all negative so far. And then Tesla quietly delivering some Foundation Series trucks in Texas. Boom. First one good. Tesla unveils new bird's eye view of 3D reconstruction park assist. Great. And exciting news. Positive. Exciting news. And Tommy Tuberville bet against Tesla stock, cost him $2.86 million. You knew that settlement was coming, didn't you, Tommy? And you shorted. Didn't you, Tommy? Investors have woken up. This is not like an institutional stock where a little bit of bad news can move a whole lot of paper. No, we're getting smarter. Retail investors make up the majority of Tesla investors, and we pay attention. We watch videos like this one. Autopilot recall bolsters lawsuit claiming feature is dangerous. It doesn't. It doesn't. That's not how it works. But even if it was, negative headline. Tesla Autopilot recall prompts criticism from federal officials. Does it? Recalls. Neutral one here. Just release notes. Just update release notes. Thank you, not a Tesla app. Fewer electric vehicles will qualify for federal tax credits in 2024. If you're planning to buy, you might want to do it in the next week or two. because that list is getting short, and that's for all EVs. Still a negative headline, but something like 10 are on the list for a credit, at least a full credit. Germany ends EV subsidies in latest blow to Tesla. Why isn't that the latest blow to Volkswagen? They make EVs, or BMW, or Mercedes-Benz. All of them make EVs. Audi is a German company that makes EVs. Isn't it a blow to them too? Come on, what are we doing here? And we know what we're doing. We're including Tesla in the title because it drives clicks. Negative. This week in EVs, Tesla's massive recall. Blah. It's been dominating the news. When we get to the chart showing the rolling average of daily news bias, the day that came out was Tesla's worst performing day. Wireless charging platform convenience has a cost. We've been covering this for days. It won't fall off. It won't. Tesla's Nordic Union dispute sparks angry letter from big investors. Sure, but it's negative, and I don't know how you'd spin it in a positive light. We're not trying to determine whether the coverage is fair, but the headlines. And we'll give some examples here in a minute. Tesla owner locked out of car after door handles freeze. See, this is negative because anyone who's lived anywhere where freezing rain is a thing knows that you get locked out of any car. This isn't Tesla exclusive. The difference is you can turn on the cabin and crank it up to 90 and get the car to thaw from the inside out. That's not in there, I don't think. Certainly not in the headline. Can a radically different approach to EVs outperform Tesla's number advantage? That's a good headline. 3 things that defined the automaker's big year. I think I called this neutral, even though when you dig in, it might be negative. We don't know. We're just talking about the headlines. Recalls. GM finds old roads, kills the Chevy Bolt again. Low price alternative to Model Y. I call this neutral because it is saying that the Model Y is the leader, but it's not saying that it's deserving of it's still a negative headline, but not to Tesla. It's neutral. Recall. Mexico, Nuevo Leon gives Tesla $153 million in incentives for factory. I'm calling this neutral because even though a lot of anti-work, anti-capitalist people will say, how dare they give free money away to a billion-dollar company? Investors look at it and say, that's a positive. And they're not giving them something. What they're doing is committing to building out water, sewer, electric infrastructure, internet, and expanding the highway, adding lanes, adding overpasses, because they wish for this area to become an industrial park. And you can't do that without all of those things. There will also be a small payroll tax reduction, and that's great because you have to bring jobs in order to have payroll for the taxes to be. They're still going to get more money than they would have if Tesla didn't come up. And that is where I think 8 features every Tesla owner should know, neutral. See a timeline of Tesla's autopilot recall. Come on. I think these two are after the 25 count, but let's just get to today's Tesla Media Bias Index, negative 44. Resulting in a trailing 7-day average of negative 47. So the way it works is the scale is 100 to negative 100, and they're at negative 44. And if you look here, you'll see when we launched it, the recall day, the big recall day there on the 13th, it actually improved. On this day, we had things like the bot demo and some other good news, something else. And then back to this. This might be our baseline. Negative 50 might be our average. That might just be where we end up. So let's take a look at Ford. Cybertruck towed by Ford pickup after stuck off-roading. How nice for Ford. What a great headline to get. All trucks get stuck. There were videos out the same day of a Lightning being stuck in the snow on flat ground. That's no discredit to the Lightning. It's what physics do. It's how it works. Ford announces 5 new factories. These are all racing headlines, but they're positive. Ford dealership opens private restaurant with Michelin-starred chef. How cool is that? The Vault online archive adds concept car photos. That's exciting. Ford announces retirement of the Ford Credit CEO. Now if this was Tesla, the headline would be Tesla ousts their credit CEO. Tesla cans, shocking departure. This is just he retired. He retired. In shame? Doesn't seem that way. I wouldn't assume that of anything unless we'd heard something before. So why so positive? Oh, because it's Detroit news and they know which side their bread is buttered on. Buying Ford stock, here's three things you need to know. This could be they could be negative things, they could be positive things. It's a neutral headline. Ford employees hid thoughtful note in new Mustang. Oh my God, what kind of fluff piece is this? I cannot imagine a fluffier fluff piece, never mind Torrington man's love affair with his 73 Ford Bronco. Wow. Wow. That's... You change this to Torrington man's love affair with his 2018 Model 3 and it's a cult piece. Come on. Ford future EVs could get wireless charging in frunk. Isn't that great? Isn't that what you need, is wireless charging in your frunk? Maybe. You can already do that with aftermarket stuff. There's outlets in there. Just plug them in. Ford Performance Package, 700 horsepower. Skiing, that's not it. Sports. See, you get a little bit of noise. Casa and Sames Ford, this is a car dealership holding a toy drive. Isn't that wonderful? I guess, yeah, it is. New Ford documentary series. Sports. Ford and Residio want to help lower your energy bills. Positive. That's a great headline. If this was Tesla, wouldn't it say, but there's a catch, or look out for this, or but people aren't buying it? Lightning EV cuts follow years-long push to raise output. That's kind of neutral. Now, when I searched Ford as a topic, one of the headlines that came up was Ford to better match demand to production of Lightning. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So what you're saying is there's no demand. We're not going to make as many? Lordy. That's generous. That would be a positive headline, but it didn't show up on just the Ford search. So, yeah, that's not great. 65 Mustang rotting away. I'm calling it neutral because this is so old, it doesn't matter. Original Ford Mustang SSP, I called it neutral. It's a very old car. It's a 40-year-old. It doesn't impact it either way. And then we've got just, I think, a couple more. Oh, look, Ford Transit's up for auction. Cybertruck stuck in the snow, saved by Ford. Electric vehicle sales outlook, less bright due to GM, Ford, and Tesla. I mean, is it less bright due to Tesla? That's weird, but this is still a negative story for Ford. It doesn't matter if it's negative for Tesla. We're not assessing that. It's Ford. And then Ford taps the new credit CEO. Cool. So what's Ford doing? What are they up to? Remember, the baseline we're looking at for Tesla is negative 50. It'd be nice to get to zero, and Ford is rocking in at positive 52. That would put them all the way up here, right there. Now, next week, we can start tracking this as well. The other companies, because as you can see above me, there's quite a few topics here that we're covering throughout the week. This is positive 52. Now, at the last minute, I decided I'm going to also do General Motors because I felt that Ford got such an easy run that we needed to cover GM. And GM is not going to get the same kind of love and kid gloves that we've seen here. So we'll try and get through this kind of quick. I'll just give you the highlights. Layoffs, killing the Bolt, layoffs. It's all the layoffs. NHTSA ruling mandates anti-drunk driving tech is coming. Neutral. GM to stop sales of Silverado and Sierra for roof splitting issue. Negative. Oh, boy. Encourages GM investors with losses. Law firm. Oof. So GM's had a real tough week in the news. Layoffs at Cruise, layoffs. It's bad. So GM got pretty much whooped. So the notion that if you buy ads, you automatically get good coverage is a little bit dispelled because with Ford at positive 52 and Tesla with a rolling 7-day average of negative 47, GM makes their debut on the chart at negative ocho and ocho. That's a lot of negatives. That is virtually all negatives, a couple of neutrals, and maybe one positive. It's bad. That is a very low score. So guys, what did I miss? What did I misunderstand? Is this a feature you like? You knew the headlines were bad for Tesla. You didn't know how bad, but now you've got a better perspective. You come here to learn things and watch me do spreadsheets, and the sheets, my friend, have been spread. That came out poorly. But we'll keep at it. We'll keep watching. And I'm really excited to see when there's a particularly big news day to see how it actually unfolds, who actually gets the good coverage. And there are times when the coverage should be good. And tomorrow we're doing, I think, SpaceX. We've got a launch coming up. We've had some big launches in the past. They're very exciting. So we'll see what happens over time. That's the best way to measure these things. Snapshots can be helpful, but not always. You got to get a series of snapshots, series of anecdotes, because of course the plural of anecdote is data. Nope, that's not how it works. So what did I miss? What did I misunderstand? Leave it all in them comments below. Let me know what you think of this new feature. And everybody else, like, subscribe, smack the thumbs, share it, tell a friend, open a window, and shout about it. I think that is not an insane thing to do, and we'll find out. For everybody else, stay tuned, stay juicy, and I can't wait to hear from you clever robots once a week, or maybe once a day.